Good afternoon. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show at 11:50 a.m. KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. It's my joy to be on the air. And it's that time of year that we actually that a lot of attention is given to Black History Month, and of course we know that Black History is every month. So anyway, I'm just going to talk a little bit about Black History this month. And, I mean, this today, and we have a guest on, Gabriel Prawl, will be on around 2:15. Talk about the Black Legislative Day. And then Mrs. Frances Oliver out in Florida. She's a historian there in Goldsboro, Seminole County, Sanford, and she's going to talk a little bit about Sanford and about the history there. I always go back there because that's where I'm from. And so she'll have a lot to talk about. But I'll start off with just saying that every day for me was Black History when I grew up. And it was beautiful. I mean, all the pictures in the school was of Black people, of course. And I got to learn a lot. But the thing that I think that it was so important for me, and even today I talk about that, is the actually sing and lift every voice and sing every day. I didn't know that that wasn't the national anthem at that time, but it was a song that I'd sung every day all of my life until recently, all of my life until I got to be 18. I didn't know no other song. So so anyway, I didn't know no other song, but lift every voice and sing. And it has taken me far. And I posted the other day that one thing about singing that song on a daily basis, it will give your children strength for the journey, strength for the journey. And one thing that I learned the other day about about history, actually it's American history, but someone sent me a copy of the Confederate Constitution that was written in 1861. And that Constitution, I'm going to read part of it for you. Here, just a minute, I can get that for you. That Constitution said that, it said some things about the Negro that was not that pleasant. So anyway, it was really something. But it was the cornerstone stone of the Confederate Constitution. And the reason why I say that is because what's happening in America today be really good if we could understand how this fits together. And this was given by his name was Stevens, Alexander Stevens. He was the president of the vice president of the Confederate, because the Confederate broke from the 13th original colonies. All this is history altogether, and set their own government up. And so they had to have a constitution because they had broken with the 13 original colonies. And it says our government is founded upon the exact opposite ideas. Its foundations are laid, its cornerstones rest upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man, that slavery, subordination to the superior race is his natural and normal condition. This is what was said in 1861. And it's amazing that that battle is still going on today, that it's still going on today. And the reason why I mention it, because it is so pronounced today that even with people who was not around, was not even alive then, of course, surely I wasn't here, but my ancestors were, of course they were, because I'm here now. And it's amazing how how this untruth has has taken hold of people, and they believe that. I mean, because what people don't know is that the patron saint of Germany was Maurice, Saint Maurice. He was black. The one of the some of the some of the Europeans' code of honors that they had was black. So this is an ongoing web of a bunch of stuff that's not true. But what's so remarkable about all of this is that in the midst of all of this untruth, we have all of this greatness that continue to rise. And that's the beauty of all of this, is that no matter what has been said, then you have all of this ingenuity, all that was given to America. Oh my goodness, so much was given. So I'll spend some time talking about some of the things that, of course, we had Benjamin Banneker. He wrote, he worked, he actually laid out the map for Washington D.C. And I think he died was the first person to die in the in the war between Britain and America. And he also had an almanac. He was the first. He was the first person to edit the almanac and gave it to Thomas Jefferson. So he was then the Secretary of State in the 18th century. This was a black man. Just this amazing history here. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of the ones that people might know right away, and then I'll have really a lot of history, a lot to talk about some that we don't know about. But a guy named Henry Blair, he was a corn seed planter. I guess people got tired of bending it over with corn, and so he invented a machine to be able to plant the corn. And the patent was not physically identified, the patent holder by race, but Jennings' achievement was remarkable, and that freed the farmers up, gave them a little bit of flexibility, and that it's just interesting here. And also, probably want to know, we all know about George Washington Carver. He invented the crop rotation, and because of his work, he saved the agriculture in the South. I mean, he was beneficial to the Southerners and saving the crops. Also, he was part of Tuskegee University, or it was the institute in those days, and there's a science lab named after him there. And of course, we know that he found many use for the peanut butter and sweet potato. In fact, there's a book out there with his recipes in it for sweet potato, for all kinds of things you can do with sweet potatoes. And of course, most people was raised on peanut butter in America, and that was before things got GMO'd. Because when I was growing up, nobody died from eating peanut butter. So it must be because of lately what has happened to peanut butter. If so, it wasn't in the news that I heard about. Um, and because we know that, well, maybe we might not know, but Lewis Lattimore, he actually discovered the carbon filament for the light bulb. So they give Edison the credit for the light bulb, but the filament that went inside that light bulb was designed and discovered by Lewis Latimer. He lived between 1848 and 1928. So he died in 1928. And Charles Drew, he was the man who invented a plasma, so that you can have a blood transfusion today. And a guy named Jan Ernest Maslin invented the shoelacing machine. Prior to that time, you didn't have a machine to make shoelaces, and we know that shoelaces are very, 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 very important. Because because just teaching your kids to tie up their shoes was a major accomplishment. A guy named John Parker, 1827, he was born, died in 1900, so he was born as a slave. He invented the tobacco press so they could make the tobaccos to roll the cigarettes. And he was also a conductor on the Underground Railroad. That's amazing. So it's so rich. It is so rich that the history that we have that has been, and this is a guy named Samuel Scottron, 1843, born a slave. Lived in 1905. He invented the dual adjustable mirrors for barbershops and beauty shops. Amazing. All the way a long time ago. And it's still being used today. It's still being used today. And a guy named Lewis Temple, born in bondage, 1800, and he died in 1854. But he invented the whaling harpoon. So I'm gonna read up about him and to see if he died out there while he was trying to catch a whale. I'm gonna want to understand that one. Um, and it says he was not a whaler, but he invented that. That's interesting because he only lived for 54 years. So he was born in bondage and also died as a slave. So that's interesting. Well, I'm going to take a break right here. I'm going to come back with my guests in a few minutes here. I'm going to take a break. You listen to Mother's Justice Show on 11:50 a.m. KKNW. We come back. I bring my guests up. Thank you.
Stayed on freedom. Oh, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
Have you memorized every public restroom on your way to work? Sat through too many meetings with horrible stomach pain? Is no energy your new normal? It's time to spill your guts. Urgent diarrhea, chronic stomach pain, and extreme fatigue can be signs of Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation can help you learn more and even find a specialist. Don't keep your symptoms to yourself. Get help today at spillyourguts.org. That's spillyourguts.org.
Bringing good vibes to the Puget Sound and the world. Alternative Talk 1150.
Good afternoon. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 11:50 a.m. KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. My joy to be on the air. I love that song because my mind stayed on freedom. Oh, yes, it has to stay on freedom if you live in America. If you live anywhere in the world, where actually it's no perfect government. All right, so hi, I'm going to bring on my next guest. He's been on before. He's against Gabriel Prawl. He's president of the Randolph Institute. We're both, he's president, I'm a member there. And he's coming on to actually give us some great information about the legislative day coming up here on the 19th of February. Hi, Mr. Prawl. Welcome to Mother's Justice Show and happy Black History Month.
Thank you very much, my Harriett, and happy Black History Month to you as well.
Thank you.
Oh, man, and thank you for inviting me to your show so I could share this historic event that we do every year.
Yes.
Representing our community,
Mm-hmm.
the African American community. And that's Charles Rowland African American Legislative Day that will be happening on February 19th in the Capitol.
Right.
The idea of African American Lobby Day is to make sure that we can connect with those leaders that we elect to do the work to represent our community. And our goal is to have some kind of interaction with our governor, our legislator, our departments heads, and our senators on the work that they're doing to represent our community. It's important that the community has a voice and we have the information that when time comes for voting, they know who is really representing them and who will get their vote to continue the work that they're doing. We'll be leaving, and one of the things that we have is a bus leaving Seattle on 24th and Jackson. And that's going to be 7:30, they board the bus. And that bus will be making a stop in Federal Way at the Costco located at 351 in Federal Way. So if you didn't get on the bus in Seattle and you live in South, you probably could get on the bus in the parking lot at Costco in Federal Way. And the event will start at 9:30 a.m. and end at 3 p.m. We'll be providing some breakfast type of things for people coming, and also provide some lunches. Will be box or bag lunch for our people attending the event. Our main thing is that this is our opportunity to focus on the thing that our community needs, especially with the idea we have money that is really directly focus on building our community, like the reinvestment funds that needs to help our young entrepreneur, our nonprofit organizations to continue to survive and build, especially as we see unemployment is not as high as it's supposed to be. And just like they hiring people, they fire more than they hire, right? Wow. So there's a lot of things at stake here. We got also the grocery stores, the big grocery stores merging together, and that's going to hike up the bill on what the cost of food is going to be. So we have to pay attention to all these things that are facing our community and our people in the future.
Well, you know, I've gone most of the times. I missed a few, but most of the times I've gone, and all the way back to before we even got it together. I mean, because at one time it was not in statute. I mean, they didn't, the African American commissions, they were not set up then. But we've come a long ways in Washington State that I call it the Mississippi of the West for Black people doing business. I tried to do business in the state of Washington. I really do. I mean, because after I-9, after I-200 was was kind of gutted, and what happened here, a lot of Black business owners lost their business because people that did business with the state, they lost their business, and I was one of those people. But one of those persons, and I tell you, just going down there on the bus. I mean, in those days, Lacey Steele was still with us. The late Verlene Jones was still with us, and even Deshaun Lean was on the bus more than one time. So yeah, it's been. I think it's a rewarding event, and it's so good for the children to go on the campus because we own that. We own that campus. That's part of ours too. Our taxes support the state too. And we have a right, as Mr. Wise, Mr. Wise's daughter said, we built this joint for free. So we have a right to be able to ask for our fair share. And that's what, and also hear from them. And so they can hear from us. And so many times the laws that they put on and people are fighting for or working for is so against us. And so a lot of the police bills, now they're trying to overturn some of the wins that was had there in the 2021. Now they want to, it's amazing how law enforcement refuse to change. They want everything and don't want to give up nothing. So it's so many things that we're working on, and I just appreciate the fact that you and Miss Vanessa and we're small in numbers compared to a lot of affiliates, but I tell you, we're mighty. I mean, you want to talk a little bit about some of the things like the turkey drop and some of the other things that 8 Philip Randolph, and also if there's any union members out there just looking for an affiliate and you want to be part of a group that does something, you could think about becoming a member of 8 Philip Randolph Institute.
So yes, Mother, thank you for mentioning that. Yes, we've been doing a lot of things in our community. We every holiday we make sure we reach out to unions to donate money to get turkey for our community or people that is in need at those times. But we also serve the community and in education, in the rights and in the things that are happening today, and also to give them the knowledge that who is running for office, where they stand, and the information so they know what way to vote. We got to look at what's going on today. I mean, we have a movement that's going on that's trying to destroy, as you say, everything that the movement, the Black and the civil rights are built and fought for, died for. And they want to take away all that just like that. And not only that, that we have people in office that are running now that are based on just pure lies. They are moving with pure lies and putting out bad information to the people. And it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous because we have to look at what's coming next. And we have to look at what our young people have to deal with next. And as you say, many of the people that did the good fight are moved on. And here we are continuing to fight. And we have to make sure that the new generation gets the knowledge to keep it strong and fight back, because they will take us back if we allow it to happen, and not on my watch. I cannot do that on my watch. I'm going to fight till the end. I'm still fighting.
Well, I agree with you on that. One of the things the scripture says, our people perish for the lack of knowledge. And that's just true because the knowledge is really truly available. And sometimes we either don't know how to dispense it or they not having a ear to listen. But I know that you and I have lived through a lot. You're not nearly where I'm at as in decades age, but it's amazing to see the progress that we made from 161 years ago. From that, it's when you look at the progress that we made in 160 years plus, by about 161 years, it's amazing. We had nothing. Nothing when people were so-called freed, no ways of making even a living. But the people took what they had and built townships and built things and continued to add to the economy. Even they probably had a lot of stolen wages then. I guess they call that sharecropping. So today it's called stolen wages, isn't it? When people
Yeah,
when people work on these jobs and they don't get paid.
exactly.
Yeah, so we had
Mm.
a lot of stolen wages in those days. They called that sharecropping. I guess you could work all the year and you end up with nothing. It's amazing, isn't it? But look where we've
That's
come.
correct. That's
Yeah, you
correct.
could work
Yeah,
all the year and end up with nothing, you
nothing.
know?
You're not even collect enough from Social Security to be able to pay your bills.
What?
It's just ridiculous. I remember my parents. My dad worked all his life. So did my mom. And when they retired, they didn't have no pension, and Social Security was not enough to for them to survive. I had to
Right,
help them out, and many of
right,
our
right.
that's what it was for
Yeah.
many of our families.
Oh yeah. And one of the things that Gabriel, is that structural racism. It's built into the system. And on their jobs and all of this stuff that's in, and it's built into the system. And you can be a good worker and still not get advanced. You can be a good worker, come every day, never late, never had a big write up or nothing against you. And you still don't get the opportunities that other people get. And it's structural. And it's not that we're lazy people. How could the people who built a nation be lazy? you know, that's not true. But the work of what A. Philip Randolph has continued to do, I think is amazing. I've only been to two conferences. I went to the one in Oakland. Of course, I went to the one in Jacksonville, Florida. I think that was in 2007 or eight. I went to Jacksonville, Florida. But I tell you, when you go to A. Philip Randolph convention, you get to see all of these Black people in leadership that's in these unions across the country. You get to see a wonderful president, Ms. Cleola Brown, and all of these people. I don't know where it's going to be at this year. Where's it going to be at this year, Gabriel?
It's gonna be in Florida, Fort
Back in
Lauderdale.
Florida.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
well, maybe I
And
go since I'm a
Harriet,
Floridian.
that you say that, reminds me of many of the people that are being part of APRI, including our last um, leader that we just lost, Joe Madison,
Oh,
who
yeah.
who moved
Oh,
on, and he was a great member of APRI. He showed
oh,
up.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that. Okay. Wow.
yes, he
Yeah.
passed away a few days ago.
A few days
Um,
ago.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that's a big loss because Joe Madison, the Black Eagle, was a great show. He was taking on, telling truth to power, and no, he leaves on the legacy for us to continue to work. And like
Yes.
he always said, put it where the goat can't get it, because you have to make people understand what you're talking about. You lay it out and make sure they understand, because sometimes we hear things but we don't have no understanding of what it is.
Right. Yeah. Well, listen, we're gonna have just a couple more minutes. You want to talk about the bus and where people can catch the bus at on Legislature's Day, which is February 19th. You want to give some more information about the bus?
And so the bus is it's going to be leaving at 7:30. So you got to get there early, 7:30 in the morning on the 19th, 24th on Jackson,
Mm-hmm.
the Hope by Missionary Baptist Church, and then it also will stop at in
That's Greater Mount.
Fairway.
Yeah, that's not New Hope. What is that's
Yeah.
that Greater Mount Baker?
Greater Mount Baker, yeah,
Greater Mount Baker.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Thanks for our correction. Greater Mount Baker Missionary Baptist Church. And yes, they'll be leaving there. And then the next stop, we'll make one stop in Federal Way at the Costco parking lot and then head to the Capitol. Right now, we are raising funds because this is, anytime we have to do things that are led by Blacks and guided by Blacks, we usually have to fight to get donation to make it happen because the power that's be always try to hold us back from doing the work. So I'm asking that people can help by donating, and you can send it to our APRI Seattle address at 5030 First Avenue South, Seattle, Washington 98134, and that's 5030 First Avenue South, Suite 208, Seattle, Washington 98134. And let's meet in the Capitol. Let's give our message. Let's send the word to the leaders that the community is watching and they demand to be equal at the table.
All right, because if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So
you're on the menu.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the great leader said. Yes. Yeah. But thank you
and
so much.
Dr. King, before I close, the one thing that Dr. King said, where do we go from here? That was a question. Community or chaos?
Well, let's go to community. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for being on Mother's Justice Show. This show is available also on podcasts for people who might have missed the show. But thank you so much, and I plan on being on that bus. I really do. All right.
And thank you for the invitation.
All righty. All right. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. We'll be right back.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
Hi, this is Marilyn Milano. If you love animals, then please check out my new show, Love Has Many Faces, Tuesdays from 9 to 9:30 a.m. right here on Alternative Talk 1150. I'll be talking with rescue groups, animal advocates, and other organizations that help animals, sharing their stories and giving our listeners some tangible ways in which they can help make a difference. That's Love Has Many Faces, Tuesdays at 9 a.m. right here on Alternative Talk 1150, raising awareness, touching hearts, and saving animals' lives.
Everyone has a community, a neighborhood, school, kids' teams, where you worship, work out, or any other place or group where you choose to belong. Communities can provide support when you need it, and even when you don't know you do. Like when it comes to preventing underage drinking and other substance use. Community members can be your eyes and ears when you're not with your kids and alert you to signs of potential problems. Learn more at talktheyhearyou.samhsa.gov.
You found us. Maybe you've been guided to listen. Alternative Talk 1150.
Good afternoon. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. It's my joy to be on there. I love Black history because every day is Black history. But we have a great month of February because Carter G. Woodson, it's Lincoln's birthday, and what's his name? We'll think of his name in just a minute here. It's two of them. That the reason why we have it in this month is not because it's the shortest month, but it's because of his love for, and I'll get that other name here. How you doing, Miss Frances Oliver down there in Florida? You're the historian down there.
Oh, we're doing just fine, trying to get rid of this governor we got.
Well, at least he's not running for president anymore.
I think the whole United States are glad that happened.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you want us to start off a little bit talking about that?
You heard what he's doing this week, don't you? He sent.
I know, I haven't heard.
Troops. No, he's sending Florida troops to Texas.
To do what?
To help Abbott watch the border. To help Abbott with the border. Governor Abbott.
How can he use the How can he use those to go out of state?
That's what everybody asking.
Oh no, he
How he
can't
gonna
use them.
use?
He can't
How
use
he
them
gonna
that
take
way.
troops from Florida and send them to Texas? They already gone. They already in Texas.
Well, somebody should have been filing a lawsuit against it. That's not the use for those. They're supposed to be
No,
used in state for in-state emergency. See,
exactly.
wow.
So
Okay,
that's what we
I want to
that's
go
what we
back to.
dealing with.
I want to go back to Carter G. Woodson. It was Frederick Douglass' birthday in February, and also Lincoln's birthday is the reason why it was chosen for February, not because it's the shortest month. Some people think that they gave us that month, but they don't know that Carter he started it because that was the two birthdays that he was recognizing for Black history.
Okay, but Harry, when we were in school, we didn't celebrate Frederick Douglass. It was Abraham Lincoln and George Washington, wasn't it?
Well, I don't remember it from George Washington. I mean, I don't remember that, but you might be right because
Remember in February they put up Abraham Lincoln picture and George Washington picture in the classroom. You don't remember that?
No, because in my classroom we always had all the Black pictures all the way around the room all the time. Booker T. Washington picture was up, and George Washington Carver picture was up. And some of the classrooms that I went
in February, that's because, we weren't celebrating February Black History when I graduated from high school. When did they start celebrating February's Black History? They used to do one day.
Well, I don't know because I got it in high school. I graduated in 1963.
Well, see, I graduated in 1961.
Okay.
And,
but I do know that I know that we talked about Black.
It started off with one day. We had one
right.
day of Black History Day. And
well,
then sometime in the late 60s, I think it was, or maybe the early 70s, they went to 1 month.
Okay. Well, I know growing up, it was a lot of pictures and a lot of talk about Black people in the classes that I had. Of course, Miss Franklin and all the people that all the teachers that I had, So I mean, I grew up knowing about Black.
We had George Washington Carver and Booker T. Washington and all them,
right.
Mary and Anderson and
that's right.
Some of those others that I remember, they were
right.
in the hallways of the class of the school,
right.
Like in the
in
the hallway.
Yeah.
But I don't remember them being in the individual classroom. They would have them in the office and in the office and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I remember talking about some of these people when I was growing up, and maybe I learned it someplace else, but I know I'd learned it growing up with some of them.
Oh no, we talked about George Washington Carver,
right?
Mary Anderson, Du Bois,
Mary McLeod Bethune,
Du Bois, and
Mary McLeod Bethune,
Mary McLeod Bethune,
right. Mm-hmm.
But you know who I don't remember talking about?
Who?
Zora.
Well, I never heard of her when I was growing up. I never heard of her when I was growing up. I mean, I went to Edenville many times, but I never heard of who she was until I got
I heard of her here in Sanford because her daddy's house is here in Sanford. Her daddy built a house here in Sanford.
Okay.
And you knew the Hurstons. You knew Mr. Hurston that used to run the library at Croons.
Yes.
That's her aunt.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Her name.
Well, I didn't know that because the name never came up for me. Just like the town that got burned out, and they made a movie about it down there in Florida. Yeah.
Mhm. And Mr. Hurston, Miss Hurston ran the library, and her husband worked somewhere in the school system. I don't know what he did. The little short, funny-looking man. Well,
right.
Zora's daddy and Mr. Hurston was brothers.
Right. Wow. Well, that's why that's why we have you on, because you're the historian, Steve. That's why you're here, because you're the historian.
Yeah. Did you know that Zora's daddy built Professor Croon's house?
No, that's why you're here to tell us, because I didn't know that. There's a lot of history in Sanford, especially in Goldsboro.
Yeah. Edenville. See, Edenville is the oldest Black incorporated city in the whole United States, and Goldsboro was second.
Right.
because they were brothers. They were two brothers, Joe Clark and William Clark.
Right. And I think
But
the Clarks in
we
some kind
lost
of way.
our charter.
I think the Clark in some kind of way attend related to the Waldens because I know Jocelyn in Tampa was working on that some kind of way.
Yeah, she came. Yeah, she's been to the museum twice.
Right. Yeah, so she's been working on that, and somehow the Clarks is related to the Waldens. See.
Well,
Don't know.
Zora spent more time in Sanford because her daddy was the pastor of St. John Church over there. Not St.
Okay.
John. Yeah, the one across town. He was the pastor there, and he started pastoring that church when Zora was 10 years old, and then when she was 13, her mom died. They were living in Edenville. Her mom died, so the daddy brought the children to Sanford, and that's where they lived. She lived in Sanford longer than she lived in Edenville.
Wow. Well, I tell you, that's why you're here. But you want to just tell a little bit about Goldsboro and when it was incorporated, and just give some history about Goldsboro. Since it was it would be the second oldest in America if it was still incorporated as a township.
Yeah, you had a lot of communities, like Rosewood. People, as a matter of fact, when they burned Rosewood down, because we didn't have the communication that we had now. We didn't have cell phones and all this kind of stuff. And when they burned Rosewood down, they thought a lot of people thought they had burned Goldsboro down.
Okay.
Wow. And when Alice Walker came to Sanford looking for Zora's grave, and they told her Zora wasn't buried in Sanford, but she does have people. All the mother Hurstons are buried in Sanford. Her dad is not buried in Sanford, but her mama buried in Sanford somewhere. But anyway, Alice Walker came looking for her grave, but it wasn't here. It was down in Clearwater somewhere. But when she came looking for it, the people in Edenville told her that Goldsboro burned down. But it wasn't Goldsboro, it was Rosewood.
I see. Wow. I tell you,
we had lost our charter. We had lost our charter, and the people from blacks in Goldsboro just went into a shell. They didn't talk to nobody because they definitely weren't talking to the white folks in Sanford.
Right.
They stopped working for them. They stopped talking to them. They stopped communicating with them, and so that's why outside people thought that Goldsboro was the one that burned down, but it was Rosewood.
Well, and I had never heard of Rosewood.
Was not
I said, growing up, I had never heard of Rosewood. See.
Well, I tell you, I had heard of it when I was growing up because Miss Ella Sims, who used cross town, a lot of when they Rosewood was right out of St. Augustine up there, and when the train got the ones that survived, they dropped some of them. Some of them came to Jacksonville, and some of them came to Sanford. Half of them came to Sanford. So I knew two of them that stayed with Miss Ella Sims. Two of the men that stayed with Miss Ella Sims, they used to tell us about Rosewood and how they burned it down.
Wow, and I guess it was a real prosperous little town that they burned.
Oh, yeah, for black folks. See, that's what happened. It was the black folks was prospering. That's what happened with Goldsboro.
Well, yeah, and there's another book written by somebody, I think might have been went to Savannah, went where you graduated from. I mean, it's an educator there, I believe, from that school that wrote Black Progress, White Rage. And this book outlines all the progress, not all of it, because it's too much to get in one book. Some of the progress where black people was making such progress, and when the white rage come in, they...
Exactly.
They burn them.
As a matter of fact, that next house I'm building, the land where I'm building this house, if you saw the movie Rosewood, the white man that had the store,
right?
That was his store was moved off the land I just bought.
Oh, really? And where's that land that you just bought? Up near St. Augustine?
Southwest Road is right off of Southwest Road.
Oh, really?
They moved that house to film the movie Rosewood, and they moved to 6 houses out of Sanford. Them little shanties that was up there on 13th Street. Remember Lincoln Court?
Yes.
They moved 5 houses out of Lincoln Court because they filmed Rosewood in Leesburg. And
okay.
They moved 5 houses out of Sanford, out of Lincoln Court up there for 13th Street, you know, and those are houses that's the ones they burned down in the movie Rosewood.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I tell you that there's another tragedy in Orange County that came to light not too long ago, where they had burned and killed people also in Florida.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Ocoee.
Yeah, Ocoee. Didn't know about that one either growing up.
Oh yes, I did. They just did a big thing about Ocoee, and I wrote a poem. And it's the whole thing. You can pull up the whole thing on YouTube. And as a matter, when you pull it up, I'm reading my poem on the documentary.
Oh, really? Okay. And it's about Ocoee there in Orlando.
It's called the massacre, the Ocoee massacre.
Okay, well, I'll pull that up. Because I think one thing about Florida has had so many atrocities, and I know why the governor don't want you to teach any history, because really, I mean, it predates him coming to Florida. I mean, predates him coming to America.
That's right. Well, see, where he's from in Florida, when he came along, it was about 10 black people in there. It's called Marion or something like that in Florida. It's down near going toward Key West.
Okay. No, it probably wasn't all in
there. They didn't have, they were such a little town, they didn't have about 10 black folks in the whole town. And they were working for white folks.
Right. Well, I tell you, it's our history that's going to give us.
He really doesn't know how to talk to black folks. He's never been around black folks.
Well, hey, I hope that I guess Florida don't have term limits, so he's running for governor. He's going to run for governor again.
No, he can't run no more. His limit up. This is his second term. He can't run but 2 terms.
Oh, really? So Florida got term limits on governors?
Oh yes, he can't run but 2 terms. He out of here.
That's so no wonder he was trying to become president. Okay, now I didn't know Florida had term limits.
Yes, they got term limit on all public office, but I don't know about. Yeah, they got time limit on judges too, because Perry, the first black Florida Supreme Court judge, that's why he had to retire, because he had reached his limit, his term limit.
Well, there's no term limits on federal judges. Federal judges come from the federal government.
Federal judges can stay forever.
Yeah, federal judges do. Well, I didn't know that, so that's hope for Florida.
Oh yes. Oh honey, he in his last days. It will not be no more Ron DeSantis after this term. After his term in this time. That's the end.
Oh, okay. So that's like that song about Scrooge. That's the greatest thing you ever done for me, is to know that he can't run again.
And honey, we looking forward to it too. And let me tell you, it's not just the black folks in Florida. It's not. Don't think it's just the black folks. No.
What do you mean?
White folks can't stand them either, because of Disney, because of Disney World.
Oh yeah, they did. Well, when I think about Disney, he did the same thing to Disney that the state that Sanford government did to Goldsboro. Went to and tried to dissolve their papers.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe they'll run a Democrat.
Now Disney got him in court. Disney got him in court now, and he's losing the court cases. Disney gonna see. I knew that Disney. People say, "Well, why Disney's not fighting the bank? Why Disney?" I said to myself, "Disney gonna get him in the ballot box." And I bet you anything, Disney was the reason his money was cut off. People stopped donating to him. Because, he started off with all these big donations.
Wow.
And then when he started suing Disney, all his donations stopped. The big donations.
Wow.
He was getting them, he wasn't even getting the trumpeters' donations.
Well, we just got a lot of trumpeters moved down there, though. A lot of people down there moved to Florida to support.
Everything in Florida is a trumpeter.
Wow.
If they're not a trumpeter, they're a rhino. And he said, Trump said when he get to be governor, he gonna get rid of all the rhinos. So Harriett, I guess you won't see me no more.
Oh, you mean when he runs for president?
No, Trump. When Trump wins, that's what Trump say.
Oh, well, yeah, but I'm telling people, I'm gonna vote a Democratic ticket even if they run in Lassie. because they're not going to round us up.
I'm going to vote a Democratic ticket, too, but that still don't mean I'm not a rhino. I've been a rhino for almost 40 years.
Well, let's just take a break and come back and talk a little bit about Florida history. You listen to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. You know, I'm your host. I love being on the radio. Thank you.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
Talk radio for the heart and soul. Alternative Talk 1150.
Hey, I love Ruthie Foster, man. She's cool. Check her out if you've never listened to her before. You're going to love her music. Hey, you listen to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW, and I get animated on the radio. I really have a great time. I want to thank all the supporters who support me being on the air. Bring back my class, my community person in the town that I grew up in. We went to church together, true transparency. You know, I mean, I bring on people that I like and that I love, and then I bring on other people. So, all right. But, hey, come on Miss Oliver, and let's talk about Goldsboro Museum and all the good stuff that's happening in Sanford here for the few more minutes we have left. Hey.
Okay. Well, you know, I have to give Biden credit. Now, you know, a lot of states, especially in the South, they've been bickering back and forth about history. You know, that they took some of the Confederate signs, symbols down and monuments and all this kind of stuff, and change the names of some of the bases, like Fort Bragg. They changed the name of Fort Bragg because that name, the man was a racist. Well, the white folks was going to fight back. So what they did, and they said that they were going to fund black museums and monuments in Florida. So Biden, to save the black history in Florida, Biden put on the table millions of dollars to preserve black history and monuments in the state of Florida. And that's how we got the $500,000. That's how we got $500,000. And we were 15 on the list. I think it was 30 cities or 30 museums throughout the United States that got the $500,000. And
wow.
And so, yes. And so now, my city, the city of Sanford, and the city you grew up in, you know, they only had one museum, and that was after that museum was put there because of Henry Sanford, who was a racist. And he brought
he was a racist.
To Sanford, huh?
I said, yeah, he was a racist, yes.
And he brought slaves from the Congo to Sanford to help build Sanford. So
really? That's a piece of history I didn't know, Francis. So yeah. So you know, wow.
Yeah, he brought slaves from the Congo, and it's all down there in the museum. So that museum down there is Henry Sanford Museum. It's not Sanford Museum. So when we tried to get a museum, we asked the city to fund us a museum. Well, the first thing they said, we don't need two museums in Sanford. Sanford's not big enough for two museums. But the thing about it, the museum they had didn't have any black folks in it.
Right.
And the county museum only had 2 pictures of black folks, and that was taken at the Big Tree. You remember when you just go to Big Tree and take those pictures?
Yes.
So that's why we opened up the Goldsboro Museum, because we had a story in Goldsboro that needed to be told. So now, after we have gotten the $500,000, and we don't have enough money, then we went to the city, and I guess, I don't know, they had a change of mind, a change of heart, a change of something, but anyway, they're giving us $300,000.
Well, that's wonderful. That is
so
just
we'll have a total almost $1 million. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, it couldn't happen too. That's wonderful, Francis. And I sent your lovely daughter the Confederate Constitution that I just came across, and it said that And it said in that Confederate Constitution that we would be that the Negro was subordinate to the white man, and I mean, and so when they say that it wasn't, it says that upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man, that slavery subordination
exactly.
to the superiority race, superior race, and his natural and is his natural normal condition is what it says. I sent that to you. I'll send it to you too, because when people are running, they're running on that Constitution. They're running on the Confederate.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but I got it. I have it in print. I mean, it's in writing, and it has the preamble.
See, that's why I could not support Hillary Clinton, and I couldn't support no Clinton, because you know when Bill got in, that's when we got that 13th Amendment, and that 13th Amendment says that as long as you are incarcerated, you are a slave.
Well, the 13th Amendment was there, but he didn't make the 13th Amendment. It was already there.
But it was already there. But what he did was he put 3 strikes and you out and all this other stuff, which put a lot of black men in prison. And once you go to prison, the 13th Amendment goes in effect once you would get in prison.
Well, you know what? I told people, I take full responsibility. But as our group, we didn't teach people not to become felons, because it's clearly there. And they federalized, they made more. It was clearly there. It was clearly there always since 1865. It's been there. And
but see, Clinton made it easy when they came up with that Clinton law, that Clinton, the Clinton incarceration law, or whatever it's called.
Well, I understand that, but I tell you what, with Hillary, we would have got a better. It's always about the Supreme Court. A president can only last for 8 years. It's always about the Supreme Court. And Hillary, we would not have the court that we have today. And I voted for it because I voted for Dosha and the Supreme Court. That's all I vote for. All these other people, they're going to be gone in 8 years. These Supreme Justices will be there for 40 years, unless they die young.
Exactly.
And so the Supreme Court is the arbiter of law in America, not the presidents.
Yes,
because everything they do can be overturned.
This is why Donald Trump wanted to stank the court.
That's right, but people didn't hold their nose to vote for Hillary, because it was always about the Supreme Court, and their goal was to take over the Supreme Court. And I knew that, and that's why I always voted.
Hillary ran, Obama beat her.
Well, I know, but it's always about the court, and I've been knowing that for a long time, and that's all I vote for. I vote for the Supreme Court, because everybody else will be gone.
So how do you vote for Supreme Court? They're appointed.
Well, but a Democratic president will appoint better people for the court. It's going to be better.
Obama appoint one. They wouldn't let Obama appoint one.
But if they take the House and the Senate and get those appointments in there, they'll do that. Okay.
Well, they show Obama was supposed to appoint one,
but that's because the Democrats set out in 2010 and didn't go vote in the midterm election, and the Tea Party voted in their people. As the people set out 2010, people have to take responsibility. They did not vote for Obama in 2010. They did not go vote, and so the Tea Party took in midterm and blocked him. But it's always about the court.
And the Tea Party turned into the Trump Party.
Exactly. Well, listen, we're almost out of time. It's always good talking to you, because
every time I get started talking good, it's your time run out.
Oh, well, it's all good. It's all good. Next time I'm going to have you on for a whole hour so we can just talk.
No, I may not have enough to talk about.
Well, it's always something good going on there. I mean, because you make it that. So I'm so glad you're doing what you're doing. Age is just a number. It doesn't mean anything. So, hey, our time is. You've been listening to the Mother's Justice Show at 11:50 a.m. KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. Happy Black History Month. Thank you.